Tiny House Prepper.
Hey everybody, I'm Bill with Tiny House Prepper, and I'm here fueling up at Love's in Salt Lake City, and I'm on my way east again. The goal today is Cheyenne, Wyoming. It's about an 8-hour drive, so it's a kind of a reasonable day. So on the way out to California, I took Interstate 70 through the mountains of Colorado. This time I'm taking Interstate 80 through southern Wyoming. A little bit of a different, scenery for me. So we're off. I'm now headed pretty much right into the sun, but this is Interstate 80 headed out of Salt Lake City and headed right directly into the mountains. I'm headed towards Cheyenne, Wyoming, about 450 miles away. I'm still in northeastern Utah, and everything is considerably greener here. Many of the mountains are now tree covered. This is a very beautiful lake, though I don't have any idea what it is. Obviously it's a reservoir. There's a dam down there. I didn't see any kind of a name as I was driving. It's also considerably lower than it used to be. The water's receded quite a bit. See, it used to be all the way up to this stone wall here, and this whole area here where it used to be lake bottom now actually has trees growing on it. And as I was driving in, I was coming down the interstate over right here. My GPS showed lake that went all the way around over in there, and as I was driving, it was all just like a flat area with trees growing in it. So it's been dry for that part, has been dry for quite a while, but it's still very beautiful. I'm still in northeastern Utah. Obviously there's some sports going on, some fishing, maybe some water skiing over there. Looks like a nice place. And after the heat that I've been in the desert for the past few days, I'm up here in the mountains. Right now it's 57 degrees, and boy does it feel good. And then there's this. Now they're not pulling a travel trailer, they're just pulling a bed. So I just got off the interstate at Green River, Wyoming, and there's this neat little cafe diner here. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna go in and give it a try. It's a wonderful classic 50s diner. And a good hearty breakfast as well. It's about 11:30, so this is actually my lunch. So yeah, I really like this place. Classy little 50s diner. I was talking to the waitress and she said that they have, I think, 26 of them spread out across Wyoming. So pretty cool. Have you ever heard of the Lincoln Highway? I never had until just recently. Everybody knows about Route 66, but Lincoln Highway was actually much earlier, and it was actually the first highway that was commissioned to go coast to coast. This is actually the highest point on the Lincoln Highway, so there's a big thing here about it. Henry Joy, president of the Packard Motor Company, developed the idea of a transcontinental highway serving as a memorial to Lincoln. In 1913, the Lincoln Highway Association was established to promote automobile travel across the country. The Great American Road Trip was born. And then in 1928, the Boy Scouts began installing new style Lincoln Highway markers that look like this. Markers to identify major crossroads and minor crossings. 1 per mile was their goal, and the Scouts succeeded by installing more than 3,000 of them. Apparently the highway was initially marked by painting markers like this on telephone poles. But then they developed a sign that looked like this, and that's what the Boy Scouts installed all the way across the entire country. This bust, a sculpture of Lincoln, was commissioned in 1958 to be built to commemorate the Lincoln Highway, and it was placed here, near here on the Lincoln Highway. And then when Interstate 80 went through, it was moved from the Lincoln Highway, and it's now here on the high point of the Lincoln Highway on Interstate 80. I think Lincoln Highway still exists, but a lot of it has been overtaken by Interstate 80. Very interesting history. The first coast-to-coast highway.
In memory of Henry B. Joy, the first president of the Lincoln Highway Association, who realized the dream of a continuous improved highway from the Atlantic to the Pacific, 1938.
So I have been driving all day long, all the way through Wyoming, and I have found an oasis. I'm here in Cheyenne with another couple friends of mine. This is Bev and Arnie. Now, if you watched an earlier video on this trip, you met Jim and Diane from Colorado Springs, and you met Bob and Kim from Greeley. Well, this is another couple that was part of that whole same thing 30 years ago.
Because all 4 couples lived in the same city for a while.
Right, right. And so once again, you know, I haven't seen them for, we figured out, 31 years. And it's absolutely amazing to spend the evening talking with them and just catching up. And I really appreciate their hospitality.
We're
so enjoying here.
We're delighted to see you again. I wish we could see Elizabeth as well, but perhaps another time.
To do that sometime.
Yeah, she'll be able to watch the video, so.
Right.
So actually, when I first got to Colorado Springs, when I went there in the Army in 1978, I went to Circle Drive Baptist Church, and that's where I met Elizabeth, and that's where I also met Bev. And that was kind of the beginning of the whole thing of all of us being together through a variety of different things. We all ended up in Greeley at one point together, and now you guys are up here in Cheyenne. we're in the east. So
Yeah.
anyway, thank you very much, guys, for having me.
You're welcome.
I'm so glad you came.
Yeah. So, all right. I guess I'll be off again tomorrow morning. Well, as I expected, I had a wonderful time with Bev and Arnie, catching up on 31 years. We talked a lot about old times, and also they have a daughter who is a missionary in Thailand, so we talked a lot about that. Talked about our plans for the future and stuff. So it was just a good time. It was hard to leave this morning, but I got miles to go. So they fed me a wonderful breakfast, except they're not coffee drinkers, so I stopped at McDonald's for a cup of coffee. Now my next stop tonight, I have a hotel in Lawrence, Kansas, same town where I stayed last time in the Walmart in the back of my truck, but my truck's full, so I got to get a hotel now. So Lawrence, Kansas, 660 miles away. It's almost 9 hours of driving time, plus, you know, stops and breaks. So it's probably going to be 11 or 12 hours, 11 hours anyway, 12 hours. So it's going to be a long day. But Lawrence, Kansas. If this rain hits me, it'll be the first rain I've seen in about a week and a half. So after paying $4.20 a gallon near Vegas and about $3.10 to $3.25 all through Utah, it's really nice to be here in Kansas and have gas down under $3 a gallon again. Wow, what a long day today. From Cheyenne, Wyoming down to Denver, and then across Interstate 70, across eastern Colorado, and on most of the way across Kansas, 660 miles. I'm now in Lawrence, Kansas. I'm actually only like a mile or so from the Walmart where I stayed in the parking lot on the way out to California, what, 8-9 days ago? So, you know, from Cheyenne, the most obvious way to go home is just, Cheyenne is on Interstate 80. Most obvious way to go home is just to continue on 80. It goes right across, goes through, you know, just south of Chicago and right across all the way where I need to go. But I decided to come south to Denver and then pick up 70 to come across for two reasons. One, 80 is toll road from Chicago all the way through Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. And I didn't want to pay all those tolls. The other is I'm going to be staying again tomorrow night at the home of, I'm tired, Kevin and Heather, where I stayed on the way out. And if I had gone on 80, not only would I had to pay the tolls, but I would have had to get another night, hotel night. So they've graciously offered me a night at their house again. So I went south to 70. So it might add an hour or two, but it saves a lot of money. So, yeah, coming across Kansas, I didn't really film much. I mean, there's not much there, and what was there I filmed on the way out, and since I was on the same interstate, I didn't really bother filming a whole lot. It's just a lot of miles of driving. But I'm here now, I'm resting. It's going to be good to rest tonight. And I went out and got a pizza. I very rarely get pizza. And this is Domino's. I haven't eaten in Domino's for years because they don't have them around where we live. And I'll tell you, I am not impressed. This crust is absolutely wafer thin, and the entire thing is burnt. It's still edible, but it's not what I was hoping for. I'm really disappointed with Domino's. And why did they cut it in squares instead of pie slices? That's strange. Anyway, that's supper. So I'm actually home now, and I'm trying to edit this video and get it up for you, post it so that you can see it. And I discovered that I never did an ending clip for this video, so this is my ending clip. So if you're enjoying, I hope you're enjoying the trip. I sure did. I hope you enjoy it like I did. I only have 2 days left from this point. I go from Lawrence, Kansas the next day to back to my friend Kevin and Heather's house in Ohio, and then home the next day. So trip's almost done. So if you're enjoying it, please like it down below. I really appreciate that. That helps a lot. And I'll see you in the next video.